I'm just excited about that opportunity.
All right, let's go to Zach Klein. Zach?
Hey, Coach, I assume bigger, faster, stronger are core philosophies when it comes to strength and conditioning. What are your philosophies in the special teams department?
Speed kills. Speed kills. If you're fast and physical, I'm going to find a spot. Don't have to be the smartest guy on the team. You just got to be fast and physical.
So if you run a 4-2, you can punt or kick off for you guys? For
sure. He'll be the punter. Yes. He'll definitely, if you run a 4-2, he'll be the first guy to punt. All right, now you come on now. You're better than that, boss.
Appreciate you, man.
All right, next up, we'll move on to the red and black, William Newland. William, do you have a question?
Yep. Yeah. Hey, Coach. I wanted to ask, Kirby Smart told us, kind of your initial chemistry with the team kind of came from your recruiting efforts. How involved were you in recruiting this summer, and what do you think you specifically bring to that process with Georgia's coaching stuff?
Recruiting's been crazy because I was expecting to get on the road. I was expecting to meet guys, and now everything's virtual. So that was a bit of a challenge because, I like face-to-face. I like to sit down. I like to talk it out. But I've been able to do it through the virtual side. And look, everybody's got the same problems. But for me, I think what I bring is what I've always brought. I'm going to be real. There's no other way to put it. I'm going to tell them like it is and help them develop before they get here. And then once they get here, continue that process.
Okay, next we'll go to Vance Levy. Vance, do you have a question?
Yeah, thanks, Coach. Kirby pretty much described the last scrimmage as sloppy and threw the special teams in there as well. What was sloppy from a special team standpoint? And then on a little lighter note, did you participate in the Noon Basketball Association while at Bama?
No, I had to work during those times. So to answer the first one, no. I had to be with the players. And for the second one, yeah, I think it's the first scrimmage. How many reps did you actually get at that position on kickoff return before we got to the scrimmage in a full setting? Obviously, we do a lot of reps, a lot of individual stuff, but that full setting. So I agree 100%. But, we're coaches. That's what we do. Like, we're going to coach it until we can't get it wrong. I mean, it's just the way we do it. So for sure, and I'm sure this second scrimmage, we're going to come out, have hopefully a little bit better, but who knows? That's the whole point of it. That's why it's such a great game.
All right, we have a few more minutes left, so let's open it up for questions. Feel free to ask a question. If you do, please unmute your microphone. Any questions?
Mike Griffith, I wanted to follow up and ask you about some of the Georgia players. Obviously, you get the strength and conditioning background. I know you've been around a lot of great players at Alabama, but any guys at Georgia that just jump out at you as physical freaks that have really impressed you early on?
Oh, wow. You put me on the spot now. There's the O-line and D-line. I mean, you could list everyone on it. They're just – and then you go to the linebackers. I mean, if you want to get real specific, it's hard not to see the size when you see them. To me, that's, a big, hats off to Coach Sinclair. He does a really good job. But to say specific names, I'm going to leave out so many. Come on now, don't do that to me. Trying to earn the trust of these guys. Help me out.
Coach, I wanted to ask you, you just mentioned Coach Sinclair. I guess that's a good segue. What are your thoughts on the way Georgia does things strength and conditioning wise and what you've seen since you've been there, since you were in that field for so long?
Played him twice, and he knows what he's doing. That's for sure. Very impressed by the way he handles top to bottom in the weight room. I mean, it's really – the stuff that I've seen has been awesome. So I'm a big fan of the stuff he does, for sure.
Scott, do you stay away from him? Do you leave that completely as his domain? Or, you have all these years of expertise. Is there anything you can do to help?
Sure. I will help any way he asks, but that is definitely – I got enough on my hands trying to be great at what I'm doing that, trying to get Coach Smart stuff right and try to make it the way he wants it. So I have enough to worry about, but he's asked questions for sure, how to handle certain things. And I love it. So, if it's about helping the players and that's what he's all about, I think it's a good transition that I don't have to worry about that side.
Scott, but assess your kicking game and your returns game, where you're at with that.
I missed that. Say that again. Sorry.
I think could you kind of assess your kicking game and the returns game as it is right now?
I mean, if you're asking for specifics, we have a lot of competition going on. If you're asking for, kind of help me out with the question. What kind of details you want, boss?
Well, what is the specifically place kicking situation? Do you see Jake Camarda being a real threat to possibly win that job right now? Is it just him and Jared Kirkle? And then your returns, who are your top guys for maybe punt and kickoff returns?
Which is what is great for us is that we have competition everywhere, from the deep snappers going at it. We got 3 guys attacking it every day to try to figure out who's going to be the guy. And then for kickoff, we have 3, 4 guys going at it, and Jake's in the mix. Pod Lindsay and Zerpel are doing really well in both field goals and kickoffs. And then the returners, it's a lot of fun for me with the returners because you got Kieris Jackson back there who's done it before. And then you got Cook, and then you got Zamir. So you got a lot of cool little toys to play with. Do I really want them to return the ball, or do I want them running down on kickoff? Do I really want them to be on punt return, or do I want them to go take a guy on? So it's a lot of fun on that side of it. There's a lot of competition now, which is so much. Just competition. Everybody gets better, and that's great for us.
Scott, Nick Saban said that he thought that you one day would like to be a head coach. Is that part of the reason why you're here now?
I think at the end of the day, you got to be great at the position you're in. And sure, aspirations are out there, but it's like I tell the players. It's like I told my son, who just had his first 7th, 8th grade game. He was like, my goal is to get a sack and this, that. I was like, okay, that's great. Or my goal is to get in the end zone. That's great. But how about dominate the man across from you? So my goal right now is really simple. I'm going to try to be the best special teams coordinator I can be and be the best coach I can be to help the program.
Hey, Brandon, I think you had tried to start. Go ahead.
Coach, kind of a 2-part question here, but first off, in terms of your energy, I know you've been asked probably this plenty of times, but have you kind of always been this energetic guy? Like I know you worked out at Alabama, but kind of earlier on,
I would say yes to that, but I think it's all about timing too. I don't think the one thing, and this is for me for recruiting too and for coaching, I just like to be real. Like if it's needed, I'm gonna do it. If we're out there and kind of dead moving, what a great way to set the tempo with special teams. Like we start every game, every half, like let's go. Are you kidding? Like, so have I always been that way? I think so.
And then the other part of the question I had, did you kind of have a moment, I guess, where you were able to see everything click in terms of you being here and making a move over here? Did you ever have a moment where you felt comfortable? Because you said that you're in a good place right now, so I was just asking.
Yeah, I don't know if there was a moment that made it click. I just think that it was time. Like it was time for me to transition, and there was no time like the present. I mean, I hated the fact that right after, we had the pandemic, but at the same time, maybe I can, as I tell the players, use it to your advantage. It can be all negative, but everybody's got the same problem. So decide today that it's going to be to an advantage, which is near impossible to say with all the stuff going on, but
Coach, when I was at Georgia, I got to be friends with some New Orleans boys, and they were all tough. They were all hard workers, and they all had a little bit of confidence about them. What is it down there that's what comes out of there?
Well, I don't know about them, but it's my mama and my daddy for sure, hands down. Dad was military and mom was a teacher. So that definitely ran in the family of being tough and having a good time being tough too.
Coach, in regards to doing something new and being that special teams guy, what's that first night of sleep going to be like? That night of sleep before the first game going to be like?
Sleep? Come on, dog. Who's sleeping?
Hey,
come on. Game week. Can't eat, can't sleep. Come on.
Just wanted to see if, obviously, do you expect there to be any nerves or anything? Just taking on something so different?
Yes, for sure. And I'm big on nerves. I'm big on controlling your nerves. I mean, I got to deal with, obviously dealing with specialists a lot, but I'm also dealing with freshmen. I'm dealing with guys that are coming from, all right, last year they were all special teams. Now they're starting on defense, and I only have them on one special team. So, man, that's just – shoot, I was nervous to walk in here and talk to y'all. Come on. Appreciate y'all making me feel comfortable, by the way. But I think nerves are part of it. I love it. And then, what was it? John Bones Jones said, you get the butterflies. The key is to get them to fly in formation. That's kind of if you're not nervous and anxious, I don't think it's important to you.
Coach, did you consult with anyone in particular this off season just to get the ins and outs of, preparing and practicing the special teams side of things, just being off the field for so long?
Yes. The list is endless. Obviously, I have great relationships with a lot of guys in the NFL from past times, just working with them. And then guys that have been the special teams coordinator where I was working at, when I first started, it was Michael Haywood, then it was Derek Dooley. Then I learned from Bobby Williams, and then obviously Jeff Banks. But then on the outside of that, you got Joe Judge, who I talk to on a regular basis, and Versace I talk to on a regular basis that are, I wore them out, and I still wear them out because I'm always trying to find the perfect drill. You get X amount of time on the clock. What is the perfect drill to make you have success? And it's a one-on-one battle. Give me 6 seconds of play and let's go.
We have time for a few more. Anyone else?
Coach, this is Mike Griffith. I guess I got to ask you about the elephant in the room here. I mean, the bottom line is you're a proven coach, and you weren't able to get the opportunity at Alabama that Kirby's given you. Do you use that as motivation? Is that something you think about, that Nick Saban wasn't going to give you this chance?
You can use anything for motivation. To me, the question goes deeper. I think Coach Saban has my back. I worked for him for 18 years. If the position would have been open there, probably would have been a possibility. But for me, I want to work for Coach Smart. I want to work with somebody that I see eye to eye with on a lot of things. And I see the same with Coach Saban. Obviously, I wouldn't be where I am without him. But with Coach Smart, I feel like there's a big emphasis on some things that I'm big on.
Time for 2 more questions. Anybody else? All right. Well, thank you guys for joining us, and thank you, Coach, for giving us a little bit of your time today. Thank you.
Go Dogs.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks, Coach.